Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Am I audible? एक बार आप quickly अगर मुझे बता दोगे. Then I
Yes,
hope
sir.
you're
Go
aware.
ahead.
Thank you, Ravi Narayan. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's well.
Cool. Perfect. Very nice. So I think this video we are doing it on Zoom and we are also getting live streamed on YouTube channel as well. Right. So this on a Zoom we have kept very limited people. I think people are still joining in. For those people who register for that, who have submitted their resume, we have gone through one level of reviewing. Those all are on this Zoom channel. And those who couldn't do that on the time, you guys can still see it on the YouTube live. And we'll just try to dissect and talk about that. आज के डेट में how do you make a resume which sells, which helps you get shortlisted and which help you grab the first opportunity from the companies itself. Okay. So let's quickly start. I'll just wait for a few more seconds. Let me see if I'm also audible and visible on YouTube. I'll be using my phone just to check that. Cool. Just allow me a second. Let me open my YouTube. Very good evening, everyone. Very nice. Perfect. Nice. Cool. So I think let's get started. I think a couple of people have already joined in. This is anyways a recorded session. So आप जो भी uh, यहाँ पे miss कर रहे हो session, you will be getting the recorded link to this. So before we get started and talk about, I have a one very simple question for most of you people, and I am very strongly believing that you guys already know this. Guys, can you quickly tell me what is the difference between a resume and a CV? CV और resume के बीच में क्या difference होता है? Can anybody help me understand? You can use chat, sir. We'll talk to each other in the case if it is definitely needed in order to just maintain the decorum so that the discipline of the class is maintained. You can put that into the chat. अगर आप YouTube पे देख रहे हो तो आप comment में करके मुझे बताओ. What do you guys think? What is the difference between the resume and a CV? This is some word which people mostly use interchangeably in the market. कि मुझे CV बनाना है, मुझे resume बनाना है. Can any of you help me understand कि what is the difference between the resume and the CV? Anyone in the class? Can you guys put that into the chat? क्या difference है दोनों में? Very good evening, Divakar, everyone. What is the difference between resume and CV? Resume is for fresher and CV is for the experienced people. Is that the difference?
No, no. Actually, resume is proposed for job applications to highlight our skills, experience, achievements, like things. But
Hmm.
in CV, I think it is for academics and research, and to mention educations and like that, to provide a comprehensive record for our academic and professional history.
Very nice. I think very aptly said. Anyone else has any other thoughts? Very nice. So you're absolutely right. So typically, if I look back, 10 years back when I was actually, coming, 10, 15 years back when I was actually coming out of the college, ठीक है ना? उस समय, just give me, allow me one second. There's some problem with my camera. It's getting frozen. One second. Just allow me, guys, one second. There's some technical problem. Cool. I think this should be sorted now. So normally, 10, 15 years back when I was passing out from the college, at that time, whenever people has to present their skill set, right? The only way to do that at that time was through a piece of paper where we used to write that, boss, we have done worked on this project, we have this skill set, this is what we want to do. And with the aim of provide all that detailing, right? Normally it used to be very detailed. It used to be say like two to three pages itself. At that time, when the number of people who are applying for the jobs were also less, people used to have a lot of time to read through it. That version of your profile, which is a little detailed, which has all the informations in exaggeration, you have put all the minute details of what you have done in the life, and you do in that manner, that typically is called as CV, curriculum vitae. Fast forward today no one has time to read through a lot of English, right? To demonstrate your skill set, resume is not enough. You have to show your core skill set, that you have a GitHub profile, you have a LinkedIn. So you have more other ways of representing and providing the credibility that, boss, what you have done it. So as far as the job market is concerned, whether you are an experienced or you are a fresher, the normal standard of a market is that it has to be succinct, it has to be to the point, it has to be what the market needs to know about you for you to avail the jobs. And for that, guys, am I audible? Am I audible? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. There's some technical glitch which is happening, just bothering me. Anyways, that's kind of sorted now. Cool. So what I was trying to say here is that in the today's modern world, uh, when somebody has to look for the jobs, everyone is asking you to be very practical and to the point itself. No one has the time to read through the long sentences of the English that you write, that what you have done in the entire career. So resume is the current practical format jahan pe the standard is that it has to be done in a page itself. So anyone who's looking for a job, whether you are a fresher or whether you are an experienced person, if your target is to hit the job market, if your target is to go and apply in the companies to get the interview calls, what you intend to do is you have to make a resume. It's hardly a one or maximum 1.5 page thing that talks about what you bring to the table for the companies. On the other hand, still, let's say that you have done bachelor's and you'd like to apply for the master's, PhDs, research roles. There still people expect you to write everything that you have done in the details. And for that, when you go and provide all the detailing around your research work, the things that you have done in the past, that typical thing is called as CV. So अगर बीटेक कर रहे हैं, अगर आप फॉरेन कंट्रीज में जाके मास्टर्स करना चाहते हैं, PhD करना चाहते हैं, the detailing which you will send to the professors of that college, that will be termed as the CV itself. So for all our reference, without confusing each other out, if we are looking for a job in today's market in India or the abroad, the thing that we have to be ready with, which is our face in the companies, is resume. So हमारे लिए भैया resume is the main thing. For us, resume is the main thing that we have to go and focus on. Okay, and the current standard of resume is 1 page. Now, the next part that I want to talk about is that I just want to talk about that what is the best way of making a resume. I understand that today everyone has become Gyani. There are so many people who have opened their workshop around building the ATS-friendly resume itself. ATS आजकल कुछ ज्यादा ही flashy word हो चुका है market में. So before I go and talk about how you should make resume and without making it too much of tantrums and too much of specifics, let me help you with one story or one incident that I would like to share with you people itself. So I was in US. I think, I normally say this in my class. Many of you would have already heard it. So there's one company called as Netflix. Okay. Netflix, if I go and tell you, it's one of the best tech companies to work for. Even if I have to rank between OpenAI and Google today, I'll still rank Netflix above both Google and OpenAI in terms of the tech companies to work for. That's how the work environment and the opportunity that you go and get at the Netflix itself. So I was in the US last year, and typically I was talking to their head HR, the main hiring person. She's a classmate from IIT BHU, from which I'm pass out. And while I was having a discussion with her, she just threw, because she knew that, in the past I have worked at a company called as LinkedIn. She just threw a random question at me. She told me, Vishwa, can you make a guess that, let's say that Netflix post a job role over LinkedIn and says that, hey, we are hiring for a Java developer position. How many people might apply to one single job role there on the LinkedIn itself? How many resumes are being submitted within 7 days of time? Can you guys make a wild guess? कितने लोग अप्लाई करते होंगे आज की डेट में, अगर लिंक्डइन पे या फिर नौकरी पे या फिर किसी भी जॉब पोर्टल पे कंपनी जब अपना एक पोस्टिंग डालती है, and let's say if it is Netflix, within 7 days, how many people would have applied? Dheeraj is saying 10,000. Ishan is saying 500,000. Nime is saying 10 to 20,000 people. ठीक है ना? I also had a random guess around कि चलो यार 20-30,000, 20,000 to 30,000 people might have applied. And then she told me that Vishwa, the number might vary, but on an average, it's around close to around 2 to 3 lakh people. 2 से 3 लाख लोग एक पोजीशन के लिए अप्लाई कर देते हैं. Now, as soon as he said that, it's very clear that boss, आज के डेट में competition is very stiff, and Netflix is one of the super dream company to be the part of. तो कोई अगर super dream company है, तो I don't doubt that 2-3 लाख लोग अप्लाई कर देते होंगे. The next question that she asked me, follow up to that, was more interesting. So he asked me, okay, Vishwa, then tell me that out of these, let's say, for example, 2 lakh people applied, what percent of the people जिनका resume outrightly reject हो जाता होगा? What is that percentage of the people जिनका कि resume outrightly reject हो जाता है जैसे ही वो submit कर देते हैं? Can you guys make a guess? So Swati is saying 80%, Kirti is saying 85, 95, 98. Okay. मैंने भी बोला यार 80-82% होगा दोस्त, because Netflix is such a crazy company, everybody wants to work there, or maybe उनके expectations ज्यादा हैं तो maybe 80-85. She told me around close to around 97% resume gets rejected outrightly. अब चूंकि I had worked in the LinkedIn past, मैं थोड़ा सा वापस गया, I went checked with my team, and I think that's how true it is. Not only for the Netflix, but for every company that you go and apply today, your resume, 97% of the resume gets rejected outrightly. Now, when I knew this fact, when I got this fact, typically I asked her the follow-up question. मैंने बोला दोस्त, तुम लोग किसी को चूज करना चाहते हो या फिर यू गाइज आर गेटिंग अ सैडिस्टिक प्लेजर इन रिजेक्टिंग द रिज्यूमे? तुम लोगों को रिजेक्ट करने में ज्यादा खुशी मिलती है या फिर एक्सेप्ट करने में ज्यादा खुशी मिलती है? To which she replied to me that boss, it's not that we want to reject people. The reason is कि आज के डेट में लोग जिस तरीके से अप्लाई कर रहे हैं कंपनीज में या फिर लोग नेटफ्लिक्स में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, the reason for 97% of the resume getting rejected is not that we want, but how the people have applied in these companies. I tell, explain me more. And what she tells me is कि normally क्या होता है, and when she said me, I realized that I was also doing it for a long time. And you guys tell me if that relates to you. हमको जब रिज्यूमे बनाना होता है ना, what we do, we go and see few videos over YouTube. कुछ दीदी भैया से हमने कंसल्ट कर लिया और थोड़ा मेहनत करके once we have made a resume, उस रिज्यूमे का हम पीडीएफ वर्जन बना लेते हैं और फिर हर कंपनी में, राइट, हर कंपनी में सेम पीडीएफ वी यूज टू चिपकाओ एवरीवेयर. वी सेंड कंपनी एक्स में अप्लाई करना है सेम पीडीएफ, कंपनी वाई में अप्लाई करना है सेम पीडीएफ, और किसी को ऑफलाइन देना है प्रिंट आउट करा के सेम पीडीएफ. She said the problem is this itself. Half of the time, let's say that if we are having a data science position, we still say that, see that people are applying with the resume with the pointers around that, hey, I'm a Java developer. अगर जावा का रोल है तो वहां पे लोगों अपने रिज्यूमे में डाल रखा है कि दे आर वर्किंग ऑन द जावास्क्रिप्ट इटसेल्फ. So the people these days have become so impatient around applying to the companies. They don't care what skill set I have or what I have put in the resume itself. उन्होंने ओपनिंग देखा, रिज्यूमे का पीडीएफ बना हुआ था, हमने जाके उसको वहां पे सबमिट कर दिया. And that's one of the biggest reason why you're not able to get shortlisted, because these companies these days are using bots, AI, to see if your skill set which is mentioned in the resume is matching with what the company demands. And if that match is not there, no matter how good you are, you will never be selected. Right? So the point here is, one thing that I want you to take from this session, not much, if more, is that you should never have a PDF version of a resume which you're using for all the companies. Your resume should be like a template. It should be like a form. And before you go and apply to any of the companies, अपने रिज्यूमो को उस कंपनी के जॉब के हिसाब से, see, every time a company will come up with a role, they will release something called as JD. JD stands for job description. We'll talk about what this job is all about. We'll talk about what skill set is needed. It will talk about that what it expects from the candidates. So before you go and apply for any company, X, Y, Z, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, whether it's coming to your college, it's a company from outside, and no matter whether it's a IT or non-IT or the civil or mechanical, any branch that you belong to, do a little research about the company and the job role that you are applying for. And based on that, see first of all, boss, do I resonate to this role? Do I have the skill set? देखो फेक मत करो, बिकॉज उससे कोई फायदा होगा नहीं. आप इंटरव्यू में जाओगे, आपको कैंसिल कर देंगे और फिर अगले 6 महीने आप अप्लाई नहीं कर पाओगे. अगर आपको फेक भी करना है, then you have to do a smart fake, which I'll talk more about in as the session progresses. But your first thing should be that you should be very clear that बस जो इस जॉब रोल में डिमांडेड है वो मुझे आता है और वो चीज मेरे रिज्यूमे में भी मेंशन है. दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू विल हैव टू, एंड दैट्स हाउ ऑलमोस्ट फॉर एवरी कंपनी यू विल हैव टू डू सम माइनर चेंजेस इन योर रिज्यूमे. So your resume should be a template, not a fixed asset. And every time you go and apply for a company, you upload your resume somewhere. Make sure that your resume has been tweaked, tailored per the company's demand. Am I making sense, guys? Samrin, ये करना पड़ेगा. You have to. You don't have to blindly apply to 20 to 30 companies. For every company that you go and apply for, at least you should have some time to look around कि कंपनी क्या है, जॉब प्रोफाइल क्या है, क्योंकि जब तक आप नहीं करोगे और आप थॉक के भाव पे अप्लाई करते जाओगे अपने रिज्यूमो को, विल नॉट वर्क आउट. ठीक है? सो नाउ लेट्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अंडरस्टैंड कि एक रिज्यूमे में क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस होते हैं जो आपको बनाने चाहिए. और रिज्यूमे बनाने के लिए कोई आपको फैंसी टूल की जरूरत नहीं है दोस्त. यू डोंट नीड एनी काइंड ऑफ फैंसी टूल, यू डोंट नीड एनी काइंड ऑफ एआई. और ये एटीएस ये सब बकवास है. ठीक है? If you keep few important pointers and you're able to put that in a clean English words, grammatically correct, you will get shortlisted everywhere, provided you have that skill set mentioned in the resume itself. Now, what are those? Let's try to talk about it. So let me do one thing. Let me quickly share my screen. Guys, please let me know if you're able to see my screen itself. आप लोग मुझे प्लीज बताना अगर आप मेरा स्क्रीन देख पा रहे हो. बताइए सर. कूल है. परफेक्ट. आई कैन सी योर चैट. ओके. ठीक है. सर रिज्यूमे का काम क्या होता है? रिज्यूमे इन अ वेरी सिंपल वर्ड्स, मान लीजिए आपकी कंपनी है, कंपनी, ठीक है, और आप यहाँ पे हो, दिस इज यू। आप अपने आप को हर वक्त कंपनी के लिए अवेलेबल नहीं करा सकते ना, यू कैन नॉट गो टू द कंपनी एट ऑल द टाइम, राइट? तो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज, guys, you are able to see my screen? मेरा राइटिंग दिख
So
रहा है
the
आप लोगों को?
screen is visible, but what you just wrote is not
Is not visible?
visible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Are you able to see now
Yes, sir.
what I'm writing? Perfect. Thank you. Cool. So the whole purpose of the resume is that it allows you to be, represent you in front of the company, since you cannot be there at all the time in the beginning rounds, because it's not practically possible for the companies to interview everyone who has applied. So since you cannot present, your resume talks about you, or resume is your face in the front of the company itself. Now, company, in fact, not a company, but almost everyone in this world today has become very practical, right? They are very up to the point कि क्या है, directly मुझे बताओ आप क्या कर सकते हो। कंपनी के लिए दो चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए जानना फॉर गिविंग यू द जॉब्स, राइट? द कंपनी वुड लाइक टू नो टू थिंग्स. व्हाट आर दोस टू थिंग्स? वन, who you are, right? That's number one. And second one is that why they I should go and select you. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं कंपनी अभी चलाता हूँ एमर्स, ठीक है, और मुझे एक सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हायर करना है, आजकल हायर कर रहा हूँ। तो हायरिंग करने के लिए मेरा जो मेरा जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है, my highlights or my main stress is on the direction to understand कि जिस सामने वाले बंदे को मैं इंटरव्यू करने वाला हूँ, how is his intent, who is he, वो करना क्या चाहता है, क्या जो वो करना चाहता है वही मैं भी उस रोल में उससे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ, दैट्स नंबर वन। और दूसरा, वो बोल तो रहा है, पर डज ही और सी हैव द राइट स्किल्स टू अचीव दैट, राइट? तो कोई भी कंपनी आपके रिज्यूमे को देख के दो चीजें वो आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहती है बड़े क्विकली से, वो है हु एंड व्हाई। And this is true for every company, startup के लिए, product based company के लिए, almost every company that you see in this world, all of them works with the same context. And I'm telling you this because when you understand from the perspective of a company, जब आप खुद रिज्यूमे बना पाओगे, इस बात को आप सोच पा रहे होगे, ठीक है ना? सो कोई भी कंपनी इस दुनिया में, एंड आई कैन टेल यू नॉट बिकॉज आई एम मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ, मैं कोई यूट्यूब की दीदी भैया नहीं हूँ कि अभी जस्ट कॉलेज से निकला और यूट्यूब वीडियो बनाना चालू कर दिया। इत्मीनान से 15-16 साल से आई हैव वर्कड इन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द टॉप टेक जायंट्स, हजारों लोगों का इंटरव्यू करा है। आई रन माई ओन कंपनी, राइट? एंड विद दैट कॉन्फिडेंस आई कैन टेल यू बॉस, वेदर इट्स अ फेसबुक, गूगल, मेटा, लिंक्डइन और एनी कंपनी ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड, ultimately किसी भी resume में, whether the bot is shortlisting or a human is shortlisting, they're only trying to look for two things: who that person is it a right match, right? That's number one. And the second one is that why should I go and pick it? So when you are making resume or when I am making resume, we have to make sure that, boss, these two things are addressed first. These are the first thing that I should go and write about. Okay. So with this thing in mind, right, the thing in mind, when we start talking about the resume, the very first thing definitely should be around कि आप अपना नाम चालू करो, because you are, this resume is representing Vishwa. I have seen many of the people, they're putting the heading of a resume as resume itself. तो ये गलत है। सबको पता है ये रिज्यूमे ही है, तो फिर से रिज्यूमे लिखने की क्या जरूरत है? So heading should never be resume, right? Because this is a resume. You don't have to explicitly tell that this is a resume, right? So I have seen many of the time people start with the heading called as resume itself, which is not right actually. We are unnecessarily wasting space. एक ही पन्ने का आपके पास जगह है, अच्छे तरीके से यूज करो, don't use unnecessary words which is not needed. So the heading should be your name itself. ठीक है? Once you have done that, the very first section of that should be more of like, you should go and talk about your purpose or aim or your goal or your target. Any of this wording you can use. Basically, in this section, what you need to do is that you have to go and talk about that was what you want to do, why you have applied in this company. For example, आप में से कोई अगर मेरी कंपनी एमर्स में एज ए सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर के लिए अप्लाई करना चाहता है, मेरे लिए सबसे पहले ये अंडरस्टैंड करना जरूरी है दैट आई वुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई यू हैव अप्लाइड फॉर दिस जॉब, बिकॉज हायरिंग इज अ कॉस्टली अफेयर. मैं अगर किसी को हायर करूंगा तो उसको पैसे भी देने पड़ेंगे और उसको मैं चीजें सिखाऊंगा भी, और अगर वो राइट फिट नहीं है तो कल को वो छोड़ के चला जाएगा, कल को उसको मन नहीं लगेगा, कल को वो बोलेगा यार मजा ही नहीं आ रहा है, क्या करवा रहे हैं ये लोग. ठीक है ना. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट दैट आई एम ट्राइंग टू अचीव इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनीज टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो मेक श्योर दैट ये पहला सेक्शन में यू पुट इट इन अ वे ताकि वो कंपनी के जॉब रोल से अलाइंड हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप अप्लाई कर रहे हैं एक ई कॉमर्स कंपनी लाइक अमेजॉन या फ्लिपकार्ट में, या फिर अगर यू आर अप्लाइंग इन अ कंपनी लाइक ऑटोमोबाइल कंपनी और यू नो द ट्रैवल कंपनी, or say for example in a companies like Ola and the Uber, your purpose should be slightly different. Or let's say that you are applying in OpenAI, or let's say that you are applying in a service-based company, or you are applying in, say for example, a startup. Your purpose should indicate that how passionate you are about working in the e-commerce sector, or how passionate you are about working in a startup, or how passionate you are about working in the XYZ sector itself. और आज के डेट में इस चीजों को थोड़ा और स्ट्रीमलाइन करने के लिए आपके पास कई सारे टूल भी आ गए. यू कैन मेक यूज ऑफ जीपीटी अगर आप अच्छे वर्ड्स नहीं बना पा रहे हो, बट एट द सेम टाइम इंश्योर दैट इट इज नॉट लुकिंग वेरी मैकेनिकल. आज के डेट में ये आइडेंटिफाई करना कि ये चैट जीपीटी से लिखा गया है नहीं हैज बिकम मच मच इजियर. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू आर यूजिंग इजी इंग्लिश, यू आर नॉट sounding very mechanical, right? It should be easy on ears and the eyes. So your intention should be simple English, but you should go and talk about that why you feel and why you have applied in this company itself. Am I making sense? Is this point clear to everyone? So the first point should be around you are talking about the purpose, right? And again, this section should be highly customized, right? So this section should be customized per company. ये मेरा पहला सेक्शन हो गया. पहले सेक्शन के बाद जो पहला वाला जो कंपनी का एक्सपेक्टेशन था टू नो द फिटमेंट दैट आर यू द राइट फिट फॉर द कंपनी और नॉट, दैट्स काइंड ऑफ डन. Once it is done, the second most important thing for the company to know or be aware about is your skill set, right? Is your skill set. So the next thing that you need to go and talk about is you talk about the skill set. Ab skill set, you should go and try to put those which you have again understood while reading through the job description. For example, अगर आप Amazon में अप्लाई कर रहे हो SD2 के लिए, तो जो भी जॉब रोल होगा वहां पे, जो भी जॉब रोल होगा, राइट, उस जॉब रोल में लिखा होगा that we are looking for 2+ experience folks working in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, Java, Golang, whatever, blah blah. Make sure that जो भी JD में स्किल सेट लिखा हुआ था दोस्त, वो सारे स्किल सेट आपके इस सेक्शन में मेंशन हो प्रॉपरली यूजिंग द नॉर्मल fonts. Most of the time when I say that ATS-friendly, ATS kind of goes and check the skill set itself, which is easy to read on. And they goes and match if the skill set which was needed for the job is matching with your skill set. यहाँ पे अगर आपने घपला कर दिया, यहाँ पे अगर आपने नहीं डाला skill set जो JD में mentioned था, तो आप समझ लो कि आपका resume नहीं होगा select दोस्त. Nobody will select your resume if you have put things like Python and the job is asking you to know Java. There is no chance at all. ठीक है. तो skill set has to be always properly customized every time you go and apply for a company. Make sure that किस skill set में आप वो चीजें डालो which matches with job description. ठीक है. Now दो चीजें, जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में कुछ ऐसा स्किल सेट डाला हुआ है जो आपको आता ही नहीं है, तो फिर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप वो फिर भी डाल दो और अप्लाई कर दो. यू शुड नॉट अप्लाई इन दैट कंपनी एट ऑल, बिकॉज अगर आपको नहीं आता तो ऑब्वियसली आपकी बाद में भी सिलेक्शन होने के चांसेस कम हो जाएंगे. दूसरा ये होता है कि कभी कभी आपको लगता है कि बॉस अभी जब मैंने अप्लाई करा है और इंटरव्यू आने में टाइम है, 15 दिन का टाइम है, 1 महीने का टाइम है, एंड आई कैन फेक इट बट आई कैन मेक इट, मतलब कि मुझे जावा नहीं आता है बट आई स्टिल पुट जावा, और अगले 2-3 हफ्ते में मैं इतनी पढ़ाई करूंगा दैट आई बी अ मास्टर इन जावा एंड आई बी एबल टू आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. If you have that if you have that confidence, then you can do that also. I have seen many of my students, many of my peers, many of my friends who didn't know the skill set, but they wanted their resume to be shortlisted, and they were very confident that by the time they put their resume and by the time the interview call will come up, they will be able to master that concept. They have put that and that works. But do this only when you are super confident that you'll be able to master that concept. If not, I'll still suggest strongly that don't fake it in the resume. आप जितना ज्यादा फेक करोगे उतना ज्यादा आपके लिए मुश्किल हो जाएगा. So the point is, don't fake it. Don't. ठीक है. तीसरी पॉइंट जो मैं आप लोगों को ऐड करना चाहता हूं, देखो, रिज्यूमे गिव्स अ ग्राउंड फॉर द इंटरव्यूअर टू इंटरव्यू यू. आप जितना ज्यादा बड़ा ग्राउंड दे दोगे उनके पास ज्यादा स्कोप होगा आपको इंटरव्यूज में और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड क्वेश्चंस पूछने के लिए एंड टू गेट यू स्ट्रक. So put only those skill set here in this section which you are very super confident at. Let's say that you know 5 different languages, but out of that you are only confident on 2. बाकी 3 आपको बस ऐसे ही आता है. My recommendation for you is that कि आप यहाँ पे ज्यादा फेंको मत. I know that few of the students are like flashing their talent कि मुझे ये भी आता है, मुझे वो भी आता है, भले ही आपने एक दिन पढ़ाई करी पर आपको वो भी आता है. My recommendation is don't put too many things. आप जितना रखोगे, जितना जेडी से मैचिंग है उतनी ही चीजें रखो. डोंट पुट एक्स्ट्रा थिंग, अदरवाइज यू विल अननेसेसरली invite questions from all the angles, because interviewer when they have to decide what question has to be asked from you, they will look at your resume, they will know अच्छा इसने रूबी ऑन रेल्स भी लिखा है, चलो रूबी ऑन रेल्स से भी इसे क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं. नहीं, इसने अर्लैंग भी लिख दिया है जस्ट टू शो ऑफ, चलो अर्लैंग भी पूछ लेते हैं. राइट, इसने रस्ट भी लिख दिया है जस्ट टू शो ऑफ, तो चलो रस्ट से भी एक क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं. आपने रस्ट कुछ किया ही नहीं होगा, आपने एक फैंसी वर्ड देखा, 2-3 यूट्यूब वीडियो देख लिया, आपने डाल दिया रस्ट. डोंट डू दैट, राइट? सो डोंट. So my point here is that don't show off the skill, don't show off the skills. So I'm again repeating here, sir, this is the most important critical section. This is how the bots decide that you are shortlisted or you are rejected. So this should be highly customized per interview. This should be highly customized per company role. How you have to put the skill set? It has to be matching with the job description. जो job description में लिखा है वही यहाँ पे डालो. नाउ इसमें 2 सिचुएशन हो सकते हैं. पहला, जो जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में स्किल सेट है आपको नहीं पता, तो आपको मान लेना चाहिए कि बॉस ये जॉब रोल मेरे लिए नहीं है, आई अप्लाई इन सम अदर कंपनी. डोंट जस्ट गो एंड अप्लाई इट, बिकॉज many of the companies has a policy, if you are not selected or shortlisted, you are blacklisted for next 6 months. You cannot apply. तो फालतू का you are losing the opportunity when you know that I'll not be selected. दूसरा, if you can smartly fake it, मैं प्रैक्टिकल चीजें बताता हूँ. If you can smartly fake it, if you know that अभी जो मैं अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ इंटरव्यू आने में 1 महीने का टाइम है, तब तक आई कैन मेक इट, आई कैन मास्टर दिस स्किल सेट, यू कैन स्टिल स्मार्टली फेक दैट. तीसरा ये कि शो ऑफ मत करो. यहाँ पे आपने एक कोई यूट्यूब वीडियो डाल के उसको मेंशन कर दिया है यहाँ पे, तो आप गलती कर रहे हो. ये आपको पछताना पड़ेगा इन द इंटरव्यू, बिकॉज यू वुड नॉट हैव नोन द कॉन्सेप्ट बट यू हैव स्टिल मेंशन दैट बॉस आई नो दिस. एम आई क्लियर पीपल? डज इट मेक सेंस एवरीवन टिल दिस क्लाइंट? इज एवरीवन क्लियर टिल दिस पॉइंट? बोलिए हाँ या ना. Is it making sense? Practical?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Very nice. So this is a super important section which is around the skill set. Now, once it is done, let's try to move on. Right. Skill set करने के बाद आपने बोल दिया यही मुझे आता है, पर कंपनीज इससे मानेगी नहीं. नहीं तो ऐसे तो सभी बोल देंगे मुझे ये आता है, मुझे वो आता है. The companies will need some credibility. कि बहुत स्किल सेट आता तो है पर इसको अप्लाई किया है क्या इसने? Has it applied? Let's say that I know C++, but have I applied in making any good application from that, right? So the third one is that you have to either mention the projects, or you have to mention the work experience. So for those people who are in the college, और मान लीजिए उन्होंने ज्यादा इंटर्नशिप नहीं करा है, ज्यादा काम नहीं किया, उनके लिए सिर्फ प्रोजेक्ट्स होगा। तो यू हैव टू मेंशन एटलीस्ट टॉप के 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स के नाम आप यहाँ पे डालिए। And for those people who have the internship experience or some work experience, or those who are the working professional watching this, you should go and put the work experience कि आपने companies में क्या क्या काम करा है. Now here again, when you are mentioning this project or the work experience, ठीक है, make sure that ये जो project या work experience है, that should be matching to the company that you apply for. For example, आप में से कई मान लीजिए मैकेनिकल के स्टूडेंट्स होंगे, और few of you might be the civil student, or few of you might be the chemical student. आपने इंटर्नशिप एक मान लो मैकेनिकल लैब में कर लिया, आपने एक कार कंपनी में जाके इंटर्नशिप कर ली, एंड नाउ यू आर अप्लाइंग फॉर अ सॉफ्टवेयर रोल, एंड यू आर स्टिल पुटिंग दैट इंटर्नशिप वाला एक्सपीरियंस देयर. डज नॉट मेक सेंस. ठीक है, तो जो आपका प्रोजेक्ट है या फिर जो वर्क एक्सपीरियंस डाल रहे हो, मेक श्योर दैट it is aligned to the company that you are applying for. अगर आप एक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट कंपनी में अगर आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो, राइट, फॉर अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर रोल, राइट, इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग इन अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट कंपनी फॉर अ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर रोल, राइट, इन दैट कंपनी आपकी जो प्रोजेक्ट्स आपने डाले, दैट शुड ऑल्सो सो दैट यू आर बिल्डिंग सॉफ्टवेयर. अगर आप एक एआई कंपनी में अप्लाई कर रहे हो, देन मेक श्योर दैट योर प्रोजेक्ट्स आर शोइंग अराउंड द एआई वर्क दैट यू हैव डन, और अ डेटा साइंस रिलेटेड वर्क दैट यू हैव डन. It should not happen कि मैं जावा डेवलपर के लिए अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ, प्रोजेक्ट्स मैंने डाल दिए मैंने जो एआई एमएल के करे हुए. मैं एक एआई कंपनी में अप्लाई करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, एंड आई हैव डन दैट, आई हैव बिल्ड अ फुल स्टैक वेब एप्लीकेशन. So things should be properly aligned. Yeah, Shan, can you hear? Yeah, Shan, please unmute yourself and talk. You have raised your hand. Ishan, you have to ask anything? Guys, I'll give you a chance to talk in the end. We'll take all your questions in the end. Please note it down. And at the end, I'll take all your questions. So you can write down your questions. You ask me anything. I'll also pick the questions from the YouTube if it is possible. But I'll take all your questions in the end itself. Okay. So the point that I was trying to tell here is that in the projects and the work experience section, make sure that whatever that you are mentioning is relevant. आजकल कॉलेज में बहुत सारे एनजीओ इवेंट्स होते हैं, आप बच्चों को जाके पढ़ाते हो, दैट्स गुड थिंग. बट एक सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि आपने वीकेंड में जाके क्या करा है. ठीक है, उनको मतलब ये है कि अगर इस रोल के लिए उसने कुछ काम किया है क्या पहले से. तो रेलिवेंसी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट द प्रोजेक्ट्स दैट यू आर पुटिंग इट अप इज वेरी रेलिवेंट. आज के डेट में आप जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं कॉलेज में, वो काफी सारी चीजें पढ़ रहे होते हैं. वो आप फुल स्टैक एप्लीकेशन डेवलप करना सीखते हो, आप डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम सीखते हो, आप एआई मशीन लर्निंग ये सारी चीजें सीखते हो, आप ब्लॉकचेन सीख रहे हो. सब कुछ डालने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप देखो कौन सी कंपनी है, उसके लिए जो आपके रेलिवेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, यू गो एंड पुट दोस रेलिवेंट एक्सपीरियंसेस. दैट्स नंबर 1. दूसरी चीज, डोंट पुट इंग्लिश बॉस. आप नंबर्स की बात करो, आप मेट्रिक्स की बात करो. आप अगर कोई प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो तो आप बताओ कि उससे फायदा क्या हुआ. आप ये मत अंग्रेजी में 4 लाइन लिख दो कि आई डिड दिस ब्ला 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 ब्ला. टॉक अबाउट दैट हाउ द एपीआईज दैट यू हैव बिल्ट विल इंक्रीज द परफॉर्मेंस बाय 30%, राइट, or the observatory system that you build will reduce the response time by X%. Talk about the numbers. The whole country is hungry about the numbers. जब आप कंपनीज में काम भी करोगे तो लोग आपको ऐसे ही बातें करेंगे, आपसे बोलेंगे कि सब्जेक्टिव चीजें मत बताइए कि आपने क्या करा है. आप ये बताइए कि इससे आउटकम क्या निकला, फायदा क्या हुआ, कितने डॉलर्स बने, कितने डॉलर्स सेव हुए, कितना टाइम सेव हुआ. These are the numbers that you have to go and talk about, right? So those are the next important thing. And the third one is that what was your contribution? What was your contribution? कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट नॉर्मली आप कर रहे होंगे या फिर आप इंडस्ट्री में जब आप काम करते हैं, you will always work in group and you'll not be doing everything in that. So what was your contribution? What you did? How your effort helped? This will determine or help anyone to understand that how you contribute into the entire ecosystem. And never ever say that boss सब कुछ मैंने ही बनाया था, मैं ही करता धरता था, मैं ही ने सब कुछ डिजाइन कर लिया था. Don't say that. It looks very fake. Nobody will trust you, and that's not how the softwares are built in the industry. Everyone is looking for a team player, right? Everyone is looking for a team player, right? So ये तीनों चीजें is very very important, right? So you have to go and talk about the relevant experience, you have to talk about the metrics, and you have to talk about that what was your contribution into that, right? You have to go and talk about that how you helped in that. Am I clear? Does it make sense? Yes, those virtual internship that you have put in can definitely put into the work experience itself. सो दो तीन चीजें हैं सामरिन, आपकी जो दो तीन ही चीजें हैं, आप जब आप अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाओगे, राइट, जब आप अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाओगे उसमें आपके मान लीजिए प्रोडक्शन में यूजर्स नहीं है, राइट, देन यू शुड गो एंड एक्सप्लेन द मेट्रिक्स इन सम अदर टर्म्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, दिस होल प्रोजेक्ट वाज डन विद इन 7 days of time, 2000 lines of code written, right? These are the text which has been used. The response time is this, right? You can evaluate a lot of metrics about the application that you have built. Put those. What I'm trying to say is that when you say something, say in terms of numbers, say in terms of metrics. Don't just say that, hey, I built a vehicle registration system. That's very subjective, right? You say that, I was able to build a vehicle registration system within 7 days of time. This many lines of code written, deployed on da 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 da. Response time is this. This is the load time of a website. This talks volume about what you did, and that talk and so as if you're talking like a tech person, right? And not so as if you have a right knowledge of English and you've explained that in 5 texts of the English itself. Does it make sense, Amrin and everyone? Am I clear? For those people who also have some good projects and also have a work experience, you can make it in the 2 sections. Or else you can make it in the 1 section itself. That's perfectly fine. यही पहले के जो 3 सेक्शन है दोस्त, these are the main important section जो कि टॉप 3 में होना चाहिए. आपके पहले आधे पेज में ये चीज मुझे मिल जाना चाहिए. If someone is not able to get this information in the top half of your resume, the chances is that they will not scroll down further. The top 3 sections explains what it is all about, who I am, and why I should be selected. Ye top 3 section is super important, and this has to be customized every time. जब ये चीज हो जाए, उसके बाद you should go and put few things which add some additional credibility, right? ये जब चीजें हो जाए तब आप डालो यहाँ पे कुछ चीजें जो आपको additional credibility आपको लेके देती है. additional credibility. ठीक? For example, you can keep the information about the degree, you'd give the information about the schooling. अब देखो डिग्री एंड स्कूलिंग में भी बात कर लेते हैं. इंफॉर्मेशन उतना ही दो जितना आपको लगता है कि मेरे फायदे की बात हो रही है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको लगता है कि मेरे बीटेक में या फिर मेरे बैचलर्स में आई हैव स्कोर्ड 9 पॉइंटर्स विच इज अ फ्लैशी नंबर टू सो, तो अब 9 पॉइंटर हो तो अब 9 पॉइंटर वाली ग्रेड वहां पे डालो. पर अगर आपका ग्रेड ही 6.5 है तो बस डाल दो बीटेक इन कंप्यूटर साइंस, बीटेक इन मैकेनिकल. ग्रेड मत डालो यार. नो वन इज आस्किंग यू टू पुट द ग्रेड्स देयर. वही चीज दिखाओ जो आपको लगता है कि ये दिखाने से फायदा होगा. 6.5 देख के आप फालतू को सामने वाले को मायूस कर दोगे. तो अब जस्ट डालो बीटेक इन कंप्यूटर साइंस 2025 पास आउट XYZ, whatever it is. Put grades only if you feel that it is good. सेम वे 10वीं में और 12वीं में अगर आपके 90% से अधिक नंबर हैं तब तो आप वहां पे डालिए ताकि सामने वाला देख के खुश हो जाए. पर अगर आपके नंबर 60% है, 70% है, आई डोंट फील दैट यू हैव टू पुट दैट. आप बस डाल दो 10th तब पास किया था, 12th तब पास किया, ताकि दे हैव द क्रेडिबिलिटी की बॉस ही हैज डन 10th 12th एंड ही हैज डन द बीटेक. शो ओनली दोस थिंग व्हिच यू फील इट्स शोएबल. ठीक है ना? आप वही चीज फ्लैश करो जो आपको लगता है कि सामने वाले को देखकर अच्छा लगेगा. अगर इफ यू शो समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट गुड एनफ, देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ डूइंग दैट. एम आई मेकिंग सेंस? Am I clear? Does it make sense, people? Then you can also add few additional things यहाँ पे. For example, something that shows your leadership skills. For example, आप fest manage करते हो, आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे you can go and talk about all the extracurricular activity that you have done. But be mindful, क्योंकि ये space काफी limited है. It's only a one page itself. Put those things which is relevant to a company that you apply for. For example, you might be a great dancer, पर आपके नृत्य कला का आई थिंक कुछ ज्यादा फर्क पड़ेगा नहीं अगर कोई कंपनी सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट के लिए आपको उठा के लेके जाने वाली है. उससे बेटर ये है कि आप कुछ ऐसा स्किल शो करो जो आपको शायद लीडर की तरह उभार के दिखाए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू माइट बी डूइंग some leadership thing, some NGO work that you have been doing around, right? Which will show your leadership skill itself. So even in these additional credibility section, there's no point of saying that I was Mohalla champion in Chiriyaure, right? So even if you are a champion in Chiriyaur, it doesn't make sense that you go and put in your resume to explain people that boss, you should take me because I'm a champion in that. Am I making sense? The point here is that after all the top three sections, you can put additional credibility around your college, around schooling, among the awards, but all of that should match with the overall goal or the ambition or the purpose for which you are applying the company itself. These are just the four sections. I think that will kind of complete one page. And if you go and provide all these details, that's what is needed. कुछ और चीजें आप कर सकते हो. नाम के ठीक नीचे आप यहाँ पे अपना कुछ फोन नंबर डाल दो, आप यहाँ पे अपना लिंक्डइन डाल दो, आप यहाँ पे अपना गिटहब प्रोफाइल डाल दो, ताकि अगर किसी को चेक करना हो, दे शुड बी एबल टू गो एंड चेक दैट. फोन नंबर ताकि दे शुड बी एबल टू रीच आउट. लिंक्डइन आज की डेट पे इज द डिफॉल्ट स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ चेकिंग योर प्रोफाइल, एंड गिटहब फॉर ऑल योर कोडिंग थिंग्स. No, I think you don't have to put 10th and 12th. I think if it is graduation, it is known that 10th and 12th हो गया. 10th and 12th तब डालो अगर आपके पास दिखाने के लिए कुछ है. राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपके 99% है 12th में, तो शो ऑफ करिए थोड़ा, राइट? पर अगर आपके 60% है तो आप सिर्फ ग्रेजुएशन डाल दीजिए, क्योंकि लोगों को पता है ग्रेजुएशन आप तभी कर पाओगे जब आपने 10th एंड 12th पास किया होगा. ठीक है? सो हियर आई टेक अ पॉज. ठीक है? And I'll take few questions also. I see Ishan has raised hand again. Ishan, either you can put that into the chat or you can talk. Any questions
हेलो
Ishan
सर.
has? Yeah,
यस
Ishan,
सर.
please.
सर मुझे ये पूछना था, जैसे फोरेज वेबसाइट हैं जिसपे जॉब सिमुलेशन अवेलेबल होते हैं काफ़ी जॉब्स के लिए, तो
जी.
वो एक्सपीरियंस के तौर पे हम रिज्यूमे में रख सकते हैं या नहीं?
आप एग्जैक्टली मेंशन मत करो कि फॉरेस्ट वेबसाइट पे मैं ये कर रहा था, पर टिपिकली वहां के लिए जो आप कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स अगर आपको वो देते हैं बनाने के लिए सिमुलेशन में, उस प्रोजेक्ट्स को आप बना के अपने गिटहब पे डाल के यू कैन डेफिनेटली गो एंड मेंशन दैट.
एज अ वर्चुअल इंटर्नशिप सर?
Yeah. The virtual internship. See, almost every company these days have a habit of working remotely these days. So even if it is a virtual internship, I don't think it's a much differentiator. Provided you have worked, you have built that, I think virtual internship has got the equal credibility these days in the modern market. Because everyone, almost every company has this concept of remote working these days. So I think that has got equal credibility.
यस सर, थैंक यू.
Perfect. Anyone else has any other question on these four sections, guys? I'm taking the questions on these four sections. The first one, the second is the skill set section. The third one is around the projects, and the fourth one is around the credibility. Anybody has any question, please feel free to ask now. So Sanju, and I think this might be the question for many of the people. They are saying that, boss, I have been working in a non-tech field. So far the professional experience that I have got is more around the non-tech field itself. I want to apply in an IT company. I want to go and apply in a software firm. How do I do it? So for you to apply in it, pehla section does not matter. So you will have to go and talk about the purpose. Second section is the skill set. So obviously, if you have to go and start working in the tech field, you have to first develop those skill sets. So put only those skill set which you have developed over a period of time and then mention it. And the third one, you should work on good amount of projects. So you have to ensure that you're working on some quality projects where you can go and mention here that, hey, okay, I have not worked in an IT company so far, but I have worked on these projects, which proves that, hey, I have the credibility to come and work in your company itself. So put those projects there in the place of the work experience. And then you can talk about your work experience, because anyhow, you have not worked in an IT company, but you have worked as a team player. You have an experience of working in a corporate environment. You would have led some initiatives. You would have some leadership skills. So it is still valuable and it's still given credited. So all those things you can go and add inside the additional credibility section and you can talk more on that. But the strong point for you is that you have to mention projects and you can just don't go and blindly apply till the time you have those projects that you have built in your portfolio. So that is something is a must. And when you do it, I think that's how you should go and place that in your resume itself. I think hyperlink should be better. Instead of putting, you should use some kind of bit.ly links. I think that will help you manage the space better. In the very beginning, which is around the purpose, I think that's helpful, Samrin, because anyone who is looking that why I should go and hire a Samrin, they should understand that what you want to also achieve. It helps you identify the alignment, right? So I strongly feel that everyone should at least keep 2 lines of English to explain that why he or she is applying for the given role itself. Yeah, Tushar, you have raised hand.
Sir, if we have around 7 GPA, so should we mention that?
I feel 7 CGPA is not that flashy. It's better that you don't mention the CGPA because no one has asked you to put CGPA in the resume, right? Everyone is talking about the skill. So I will say that respectfully just mention that, hey, I have done bachelor's in XYZ and don't mention the CGPA in that. You don't have to explicitly mention the year-wise CGPA in your resume. That's not a must. Do it if let's say that you're above 8.5. Then it makes sense to have a place in the resume. Otherwise, I think it's better to keep silent on that.
Sir,
Thank you.
sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, during the course, some soft skill session were held in data science course of Amers only.
J,
So,
J.
so the sir there said that if you are a fresher, you don't need to put any lines telling what are your motive, or as you said, 2, 3 lines about yourself. He
Yeah.
denied to write those. So, what should I consider? I mean, his words or yours?
So again, everyone has their, the approach to the things. See, there's no defined rule. There's no book as such which say that boss resume should be like this or resume should be like that, right? What I'm telling you is all from my experience, and what I'm telling you is also from the perspective of a company. Just you put yourself in a shoes of a company, and these days, if I tell you certain numbers, in 2025, close to around 80 lakh people are looking for a fresher jobs in the IT sector. कितने jobs होंगे market में दोस्त अभी? Nescom कहता है कि it's hardly 2 to 3 lakhs. 80 lakh people are looking for the job. The number of jobs are hardly 2 to 3 lakhs for the freshers. So एक चीज तो आपके दिमाग में clear होगी. There's a very huge stiff competition. ठीक है. If there's such a huge competition, and let's say that if you have to hire someone, whom would you hire? A fresher who has no clarity कि बहुत मेरे को करना क्या है? I don't know my objective, I don't know my purpose, or will you go and hire someone who have a very good clarity of the thought? Yes, now I'm a fresher, but I know that hey, this is the thing that I want to do. Whom you will, with all my judgment, I believe कि अगर आप भी फाउंडर होगे तो आप दूसरे वाले कैटेगरी वाले स्टूडेंट को ज्यादा प्रेफरेंस दोगे जिसके पास ये क्लैरिटी है कि आपको करना क्या है.
Yes,
What
sir.
he was telling you might be true 5 years back or 10 years back itself, right? पर आज के डेट में जब गूगल कह रहा है कि आई एम नॉट गोना हायर फ्रेशर हु एक्ट्स लाइक अ फ्रेशर, फ्रेशर को तभी हायर करूंगा अगर वो सीनियर सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर की तरह काम कर पाए, right?
Yes, sir.
Today the expectation is many folds. So I'm not telling that he's wrong or he's right. I'm telling you that think yourself, put logic first, right? Before you trust anyone, also put your thoughts behind it. मैं अगर आपकी जगह पे होता, अगर मैं कंपनी चला रहा होता और अगर मुझे अभी हायर करना है तो मुझे तो वही बंदे चाहिए जिनका थॉट बिल्कुल क्लियर हो और जो मुझे पता है वो मेरे इस जॉब रोल से अलाइन हो रहे हो. एंड दैट्स वेयर द पर्पस थिंग्स कम्स वेरी हैंडी व्हिच हेल्प्स मी अंडरस्टैंड इफ दैट पर्सन is aligned to this job role or not. Fair?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So should we put fake experience in resume if we have the career gap? Suraj, this is again a very dicey question. I will say that if fake it if you are able to make it. अगर आपने कुछ ऐसा चीज डाला है जिसको अगर आपको पूरा कॉन्फिडेंस है कि बॉस अगर मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा भले मैंने बनाया नहीं है, I'll be able to answer all of those questions, put it. But If you're just putting it for the sake of putting it for getting the calls, and you're not ready for it, you're just diluting your chances of getting to that company itself. Resume क्या है, आप जितनी सारी चीजें उसमें extra डालते जाओगे, if you give more pointers for the interviewer to grill you. So keep the scope less. Take that risk only when you're super confident that even if you have faked something on the resume, if you have to answer those questions, you'll be able to answer that in the interview. If you can justify that, you can put anything on a resume. And I'll just go in a practical route. I'll not go very, सेंटली वाला कि कुछ भी गलत मत करो. आई थिंक यू हैव टू बी प्रैक्टिकल, बट दैट्स द कंस्ट्रेंट दैट गोज टुगेदर. अगर आप उसको नहीं सही तरीके से एग्जीक्यूट कर पाओगे तो आपके जो चांसेस थे भी ना थोड़े मोरे, वो भी खत्म हो जाएंगे. कूल है. आई थिंक आई हैव टेकन मोस्ट ऑफ योर क्वेश्चंस.
So I have a question.
या प्लीज प्लीज पूजा, बताओ.
Sir, can we use AI sites or to build a resume, or should we use to build resume? Should we use Word docs?
See, either of that is fine. When you use AI, it will kind of do a lot of things. It will make things a lot easier for you. But when you're telling AI also, write a proper prompt. Say that, boss, hey, I have to build this resume. This is the order it should be. I first need to write a purpose, then I to mention the my skill set, then I have to talk about my work experience, and then I have to add these credibility points. Give a proper prompt, explain the AI that this is the format in which you want the skill, the resume to be built. And I think once it is done, then review it. Make sure that you're making certain changes. Normally, if you use tools like GPT and all, they tend to add few kind of characteristics or characters in a resume which shows that it is AI generated, right? So make sure that make use of AI so that the English is right. You're able to do it faster, but do it the smart way. Nilesh is saying that I have no experience. Pooja, am I able to answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Nilesh is saying that if I have no experience except the virtual internship of Emerge, then what do I do in the work experience section? You don't have to, Nilesh. In the case if you have not worked in any company, you just talk about the internship wala. That's more than enough. I'm just talking about the work experience for those people who are already working in the industry or they have already had some kind of offline working experience. If not, that's perfectly fine. Talk about the projects, talk about the great thing that you have learned. Okay. Cool. Hey, I'll also take few questions from YouTube. Very good point. Amol, who is from YouTube, is saying that. So, guys, if you have won some hackathons, right, or you have won some tech competitions, please do mention in the in the project section itself. All the hackathon statement that you have built the project in the hackathon could go in the project section itself and talk about the hey, I was able to build this in 24 hours. I won this, blah blah. Even if you have not won it, I think putting the hackathon experience is a very good credibility thing. And also, if you do some kind of coding, you have some rankings in the different coding sites, guys, go ahead and put those pointers. These are definitely very good pointers to be added as a credibility into the section. Cool. So what I'll also do now is, कुछ लोग जो है यहाँ पे, वो उन लोगों ने हमें रिज्यूमे भेजा है, तो मैं कुछ रिज्यूमे को एक बार रिव्यू करता हूँ, ठीक है ना? And I think we have taken, I believe my team has taken permission that I can show their resume over a period of time. हम यहाँ पे दिखा सकते हैं. We can see the resume, right? We can show the resume. एक बार आप चेक कर लीजिए. I'm just checking if we have the permission of showing the resume live to everyone. And if I get it, then I'll just go and review them, right? बाकी आप में से अगर कोई है जो अपना रिज्यूमे रिव्यू करवाना चाहता है, जो अभी जूम पे है, और आपको कोई इशू नहीं है कि मैं इसको लाइव बाकी लोगों के साथ कर पाऊं, आप मुझे यहाँ पे लिख सकते हो, चैट में डाल सकते हो. कोई इशू नहीं है इसमें, बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू मेक श्योर दैट आई हैव द परमिशन. आई डोंट वांट टू जस्ट शो ऑफ.
Sir, I have already submitted my resume and you are free to see it and review it also.
Perfect. It's Ishan, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just allow me 1 second. Cool है. So I have Ishan resume on my screen right now. ठीक है ना? तो ईशान आपने सबसे पहले यहाँ पे डाला है, थोड़ा जो ऑर्डर है आपका, अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ तो आपने यहाँ पे सबसे पहले डाला है, एक तो आपने ये डाला है ईशान, दिस इज ऑल गुड, दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. दिस आई थिंक यू शुड ऑल्सो मेंशन योर नंबर. ठीक है ना, ताकि if someone has to reach out to you over the phone call, they don't have to wait in the cycle of email ID itself, right? So it's a good practice that you should also go and mention your mobile number where you are reachable. I believe these are all hyperlinks, so that works. ये वाला जो सेक्शन है ना दोस्त, इसको मैं चाहूंगा कि थोड़ा सा आप नीचे लेके आ जाओ, bring it down.
Okay, sir.
In the beginning, you put one line depending on which company that you go and apply for. For example, if you are applying for an AI company, talk about how passionate about your artificial intelligence. If you're applying for an e-commerce company, talk how passionate you are about building a scalable application, right? If you're applying for a company like Google and all, talk more about how passionate you are about building the algorithms, right? So add one section that, add a purpose section where you go and talk about that why you are applying in this company. That's shows the sincerity that you have taken time कि आपने ये हर दिन में 100 कंपनी में अप्लाई करो. That's not the right approach. ऐसे आपका कहीं पे जॉब नहीं लगेगा. आप दिन में 10 कंपनी में अप्लाई करो, 2 कंपनी में ही अप्लाई करो, पर थोड़ा सा आप टाइम लो, right? And this shows that you have taken enough time to read about company, to read about the profile, and then you have applied it. Go slow, sir. There is no rush. ऐसे दिन में 100 अप्लाई करते रहोगे, उससे कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. फ्रस्ट्रेशन आपका और बढ़ेगा कि भाई 400 कंपनी में अप्लाई कर दी, कहीं नहीं हो रहा है. एंड वो इसलिए नहीं हो रहा बिकॉज आप हर जगह एक ही फॉर्मूला अपनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो टॉक अबाउट द पर्पस. Then this technical skills looks fine to me, but here again make sure that everything that you have mentioned is matching with the JD. जो आप जिस भी जॉब प्रोफाइल के लिए अप्लाई करो, make sure that it is matching to that, right? And it's also a good pointer if you can mention that Python अगर है तो how much proficient you are in Python. Let's say that if I have to rate among 5, you can say that Python I am 4 out of 5. In Java I am out 3 out of 5. So when you say in terms of metrics, it shows that you have a full crystal clarity about yourself, right? It shows the confidence कि इस बंदे को पता है कि इसको क्या चीज और कितनी आती है. Because it's not practical possible कि ये सारे स्किल सेट में आपको उतना ही अच्छे से आता हो जितना आपको पाइथन आता हो, उतना ही आपको जावा आता हो. So we have to go a little more detail, more metric oriented, and I believe कि आपने यहाँ पे काफी सारी चीजें लिख दी है. उतनी सारी चीजें मत लिखो, जितना आपके जेडी के लिए रेलिवेंट है, पुट ओनली दोस, ताकि उस इंटरव्यू में यू हैव लिमिटेड द स्कोप, नैरो डाउन द स्कोप, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
this is the small change that you can do in the technical wala section. Projects then comes in the projects. Now again एक फॉर्मेट सेट कर लो. जैसे आपने ये वाला करा है, इसमें आपने इसको हाइपरलिंक नहीं करा है, यहाँ पे आपने हाइपरलिंक करा है, यहाँ पे आपने हाइपरलिंक. एक फॉर्मेट सेट कर लो. अगर आप गिटहब यहाँ पे आपने गिटहब डाला हुआ है, यहाँ पे आपने गिटहब नहीं डाला हुआ है, तो सेटअप अ फॉर्मेट कि अगर आपका प्रोजेक्ट है तो एक फॉर्मेट में आप डालो, राइट? डोंट राइट टू मच ऑफ इंग्लिश. टॉक अबाउट सम मेट्रिक्स, राइट? टिपिकली प्रॉम्प्ट माइंड में आपने ये सारे टूल्स यूज कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, ये आपका स्किल सेट है यहाँ पे जो आपने इसको यूज कर रहा है. दिस टॉक्स अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट. अच्छा, अब जब आप फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम टेलिंग यू कैसे जब आपने लिखा enhance डॉक्यूमेंट accessibility एंड retrieval speed, दिस इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव. And guys, it is for everyone. It's not only for Ishan. तो आप लोग भी देखो कि आप उसको कैसे correlate कर सकते हो. When I say this is a very subjective statement. When I improve the speed by 1%, that is also improvement. If I improve by 10%, it is also improvement. Instead of this, if I go and say that retrieval speed I increase by 3%, I am more accurate. So when you're talking about some performance gain or something that you have achieved as a part of project, talks about the number, absolute number. Don't talk the simple English. ठीक है, तो remove subjectivity out of this. Remove subjectivity.
Sure, sir. I will do that.
ठीक है. So according and try to make sure that all the projects are in the same format. So every time a project name followed by the GitHub link followed by the skill set, one line to explain what that project is, and then talk about the numbers and the metrics that you go and add into that. Okay. So that's you go and talk about the projects, and then after that you should have brought this college wala jo part hai aapka, right? You could have brought around this, and then you talk about the extra credibility around the certification, soft skills. I think this is all cool there. Okay. So I think you're almost there. Just थोड़ा सा restructure कर लो, थोड़ा सा more metrics oriented कर लो, and try to make sure that you are changing based on the companies that you're applying for. Fair, Ishan? Am I making sense?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you. Cool है. Let me see if I can pick anyone else. You should mention the lead code name, provided you are confident. Anyway, whether you're confident or not, every company will ask you the questions on the lead code itself. But अगर if you have a good profile, mention that. Shamran का एक बार देखते हैं. Let me go and open Samran's. Let me quickly share my screen. Guys, are you able to see my screen? Okay. So this section is good, Samran. ठीक है ना? ये वाला section भी आपने सही तरीके से लिखा हुआ है. This is all fine. What I will want, अभी जो मैंने फिर से बोला है, you go and add something called as a purpose वाला section, that why you are applying for this company. Add a line or one or two depending on which company that you apply for, will definitely add a value. Okay, so that's one. Before you directly jump to the experience, मुझे लगता है कि उसके पहले आपका जो एक section है which is called as skills, that should come up, जो शायद आपने नीचे लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है ना? इसको आप उठाकर ऊपर ले आने की कोशिश करिए थोड़ा, एंड मेक श्योर दैट दिस इज कस्टमाइज बेस्ड ऑन द कंपनी. आपने यहाँ पे काफी कुछ डाल रखा है, आपने यहाँ पे जेएनआई भी डाल रखा है, आपने डेवऑप्स भी डाल रखा है. इतना कोई एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है. अगर आपका जेडी इज अराउंड डेवऑप्स फोकस, तो आप डेवऑप्स के बारे में चीजें ज्यादा डालिए. इट्स गुड दैट यू नो इट. अगर कंपनी इज वर्किंग अराउंड एआई, तब आप जेएनआई वाले टॉपिक्स को डालिए. अगर ये फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट है तो फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट के टॉपिक्स डालिए. डोंट पुट एवरीथिंग जस्ट बिकॉज यू नो and you're putting and showing off all the skill set in every company that you go and apply for will not help. You are only creating more trouble for yourself. ठीक है ना? तो इसको आप थोड़ा सा ज्यादा मॉडिफाई कर लीजिए, थोड़ा सा इसको कस्टमाइज करिए. कस्टमाइज. ठीक है? Once that is done, then typically you go and talk about the projects. ठीक है ना? और when you are saying projects, I think that should contain the experience वाला part. जब आप यहाँ पे लिख लो build 15 plus REST APIs with JWT authentication, cutting response by 35%, इसका कोई सेंस नहीं बन रहा है मेरे को, बिकॉज 15 प्लस रेस्ट एपीआई का क्या मतलब है? एक ही प्रोजेक्ट में 15 रेस्ट एपीआई आपने बनाया था या अलग अलग प्रोजेक्ट्स में बनाया था. डज नॉट मेक सेंस. आई फील इसको देख के मैं जब देख रहा हूं तो मेरे को डर लग रहा है. इट्स टू मच इंग्लिश. ठीक है? आई फील यू शुड नॉट फील लाइक अगर मैंने 500 प्रोजेक्ट बनाया या 50 प्रोजेक्ट बनाया, एवरीथिंग शुड बी मेंशन्ड ऑन द रिज्यूमे. डोंट डू दैट. पिक टॉप 3 to 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स. ठीक है ना? जो आपको लगता है मेरा बेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट है एंड इट इज रेलिवेंट टू द कंपनी. रेलिवेंट टू कंपनी. और सिर्फ आप उसको मेंशन करो. आपको 50 प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है यहाँ पे. ठीक है ना? और उसको थोड़ा सा एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड तरीके से बनाओ. जो पिछला वाला था वो मुझे थोड़ा सा बेटर स्ट्रक्चर लग रहा था, तो उसको थोड़ा सा और स्ट्रक्चर बनाओ. ये पूरे ना एक पॉइंटर से बने हुए हैं, राइट? तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये प्रोजेक्ट देख रहा हूँ, मिस्ट्री मैसेज, राइट? तो इसमें there's so many pointers, a lot of English. इसको आप काफी ज्यादा घटा सकते हो. You have only one page, right? So you don't have to write too many English. आप सिंपली क्या कर सकते हो? आप प्रोजेक्ट डालो. प्रोजेक्ट में आप फिर इसको एक वन लाइन एक्सप्लेनर डाल दो. वन लाइन एक्सप्लेनेशन दैट व्हाट दिस इज. आप वहां पे गिटहब का लिंक डाल दो ताकि किसी को आपका कोड क्वालिटी देखना हो, दे कैन बी एबल टू सी इट. आप यहाँ पे डाल दो कि इसमें कौन कौन सा टेक स्टैक यूज हुआ था, और यहाँ पे आप कुछ मेट्रिक्स डाल दो कि बॉस इसमें क्या क्या चीजें हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपका ये सिर्फ प्रोजेक्ट है तो आप डाल सकते हो इसका लोड टाइम इतना है, इसका रिस्पॉन्स टाइम इतना है. I have written 5,000 lines of code in this, right? Blah blah. अगर वो hosted है तो उसका hosted का link डाल दो. These things will help instead of writing all these things in the 100 English. Am I making sense, Shamrin? So I think you have to make these small changes and then certification. And then, also you need to bring the education certification. I think this can go down. And you need to make some changes, Samrin. आप इसको एक बार change करिए. You can again submit us to our team. We'll review it. And I'm committed typically, me and my team are there. This is not the end, right? This is just a part of this whole process. आप लोग अपने resume देखो. हम लोग आपके हर एक के resume पे will give you certain dedicated feedback and we'll get that, properly sorted. एक और मैं resume review करता हूँ. Last वाला मुझे नकुल का दिख रहा है. I'll quickly review that. And then I'll end this session because we've already breached our time. I'll try to keep on bringing these sessions like this more, but I'll just review one more. So this is Nakul's. Very nice. So Nakul के resume में मुझे दिख रहा है उन्होंने डाला है अपना contact detail डाला है, email डाला है, LinkedIn डाला है, GitHub डाला है. Very nice. I'm very happy with this section. Then he has talked about a summary, passionate computer science undergraduate with a strong foundation in machine learning, data analysis.
PUBG खेलता है. आए.
Guys, please mute yourself. I think that's not the right way to represent yourself in front of many people. Thank you. Right. So machine learning, data analysis, and programming, skilled in building predictive models, data preprocessing using tools like scikit-learn, proficient in Python and SQL with knowledge of cloud, Cool. So this looks fine, but then Nakul, this projects me that you're only fit for a company which is around the data science, machine learning. इसके लिए आप fit हो. But अगर let's say that you are also applying for a software development role, maybe this summary might not work. So you will have to customize it per role. ठीक है? Then in the skill set, your data analysis and the machine learning. देखो ये data analysis and the machine learning is a very subjective. You have to be a little more, the exact. What is the data analysis? This is, you're already talking about in the summary itself. Now you're again repeating it. So this you should try to avoid. It should be very specific, right? Similarly, in the programming, you put Java, Python, SQL, right? Of Java and the Python, typically, if you can go and put around that, how much you rate. Let's say that Python, you go and say 4 out of 5. Java, you go and say that I'm 3 out of 5. So some kind of numbers, if you go and put in, it will be very clear for the people to understand that how confident you are in the particular language itself. Then you're talking about libraries and framework. That's perfectly fine. Model deployment and version control, Git, Docker, AWS, Azure, AI. Again, you see here, AWS itself is a huge one, and Azure itself is another cloud provider. Pick one of these, just where you're comfortable. Why you are giving so much of space to everyone, so that they can ask you anything from the random, right? So AWS, Azure are two big giants. Either you put AWS or you put Azure. And when you're preparing, also go deeper into that. So these two sections are there. Slight modification, if you go and do it, I think that should be good enough. Then comes experience. Since you have experience in project board, this you have put in this is all fine. This you have talked about. This you have talked about. This is fine, but you should also talk about that. What was your contribution? Your contribution. This indicates as a पूरा का पूरा आपने खुद ही end to end बनाया है. अब चूंकि अगर ये experience है, तो आपने ये group पे बनाया होगा, तो you should kind of explicitly mention that what was your contribution into that. ठीक है? But somehow I'm still fine because I think you're talking about excrete numbers. This is good thing that you have put in around. For the project, you have talked about this, you have given the links, you have talked about the tools, you have talked about what it is, and then you have talked about the numbers. Good. I think this looks fine. If I come down, we have talked about all this. This looks good to me. And then you have talked about the education, This is fine. This is okay. I think these numbers are good. Ideally, I would expect that if it is more than 90, then you put in here. But even 87, 85 is not bad. इस वाले को आप चाहो तो आप omit कर सकते हो, right? Even if it is above 8, I typically it looks a little flashy. Otherwise, 8 से नीचे है तो you don't have to. Otherwise, it looks good to me. Out of all the resume that I have seen, I think this I will give a higher point than all the others resume that have. Good work, Nakul. Just make few smaller, minor, teeny, mini changes, and I think you should be good at. Cool, hai? Perfect, guys. So this I'll kind of stop now. And again, as I repeated, this is not the end. This is not that we'll stop it. We are committed to all our students. दैट आपके जो रिज्यूमे हैं हम एक एक करके रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, और आपको जो भी सपोर्ट यहाँ पे चाहिए होगा आवर टीम विल गिव द डेडिकेटेड सपोर्ट ऑन दैट। फॉर्मेट वही है, सिंपल है, आपको बस ये इंश्योर करना है कि आप अपने रिज्यूमे के थ्रू कंपनी को ये बता पाओ कि आप क्या हो और कंपनी आपको क्यों हायर करे। और उसके लिए बड़ा सिंपल से, कोई एक्स्ट्रा स्किल सेट इसके लिए चाहिए नहीं। आप पहले ये क्लियर कर दो कि आप कैसे फिट हो कंपनी के लिए। अ पर्पस, 2 lines to define your purpose is very helpful. Number 2 is skill set. Number 3 is your work experience and the projects. And number 4 is additional credibility, like आपकी college, आपका schooling, आपके कुछ awards, आपके कुछ hackathon details. I think that's more than enough. If you're able to put all these things, make sure that it is customized per job role. यहाँ पे ही की है, that is the main differentiator. Don't go in a mad race कि मैं हर दिन 100 कंपनी में अप्लाई करता हूँ, सही तरीका नहीं है दोस्त, कोई ज्यादा फायदा इससे आपको नहीं मिलने वाला है। Cool है, perfect. Thank you guys, thanks for joining. I think it was a good one. I'll try to bring projects के लिए, और मुझे लगता है कि कुछ और सेशंस करता हूं मैं। ठीक है, so with that I'll stop now and I'll try to bring few similar sessions. आप प्लीज मुझे कमेंट करके बताइए, यूट्यूब पे टैग करके बताइए if that helped, which allows me to keep on bringing the sessions like this, guys. ठीक है, thank you everyone, have a great day and I'll see you next time.
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू। आपको फॉर्म फिर से मिल जाएगा, हम ये यूट्यूब वीडियो के नीचे फॉर्म डालेंगे। आप जितने लोग यहाँ पे रिज्यूमे डालोगे, हमें हो सकता है थोड़ा टाइम लगे, लिमिटेड टीम है 5-6 लोग, बट डेडिकेटली वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट। विल गिव द डिटेल्ड रिस्पॉन्स फॉर योर रिज्यूमे टू ईच पीपल हु हैव सबमिटेड द रिज्यूमे। हम आपको फीडबैक देंगे, आप उसको चेंज करिए एंड विल हेल्प यू फिक्स दैट अप। थैंक यू एवरीवन, टेक केयर एंड हैव अ नाइस टाइम।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू सर।